Right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Art Kelly 9505. We are Friday night, which means it's PRF1. Short qualifying, 50% race, but we've also got a sprint race tonight as well, so that's good fun. Um, Unfortunately, the person who I was going to interview isn't in the lobby. I think he's having problems at the moment with his internet, so I'm going to invite someone else and see if we can get someone else in, but it may be a case of not being able to do an interview this week. I hope we can. No response there. What about Spreader? Can we get Spreader in? Where is he? Invite Spreader. Right, don't seem to be able to... Can someone just confirm that you can hear me? That there is sound? Someone's just said to me in the Discord there ain't no sound, but it seems alright to me. Yeah, thank you, Lynn Legend. It's, yeah, I thought so. Excellent. Welcome as well, Lynn Legend. Thank you for joining. Well, nobody appears to want to do an interview with me, so I like Cammy. I've already done one with Kamarov before. I can't remember. Use Xbox. Should be able to. Here's Cammy. Oh, Schmitty. It's Lynn Legend. Hello. Hello, Cammy. Have I interviewed you before? No? Alright then, let's do it then. If you're up for it. Because I was supposed to be doing Taz, but you ain't... yeah, that's because I haven't done it my side yet. You got to do it both sides. I got to do it my side first now, because since they changed Twitch. Here we are. There you go. You should be able to do it now. Excellent.
That's
Right.
good.
Well, hello. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm quite tired, but yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Good, good. How's preparations been for Monza?
A bit shit, really. I don't really like this track because it turns out, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's very difficult to get away from people, so it usually produces some quite good races to watch because obviously everyone's a lot closer. But personally, racing it, I don't like it as much.
Yeah, I have to admit, from my side of it, I don't like running low downforce, and you got no choice here. You got to. I was just
Yeah,
left behind, so I much prefer the high downforce tracks. But yeah, yeah, it does it can provide a really good race. But actually, on this year's game, it's been a bit hit and miss, and there's been a lot of crashing and stuff going on. So hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. But we shall see. Anyway, in terms of how your season's going so far, obviously it's going pretty well. You've won a lot of races already. I think five is it this season already?
uh,
Six, five, six, something like that.
might even be seven.
Might even be seven. There you go.
Look,
Um,
let's have a
I know
look.
I seem to be talking to you every single week. That's for the podium.
Six. Sorry.
Six. So and it's round nine
Yeah.
tonight. So is it round nine? I think it's round nine. Yeah. So
Threes. I don't think it's round 11.
round 11.
Yeah, it is.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. So you've won just
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 over
slightly
half.
over 50% of the races. So yeah, it can't be going too bad for you this season, and I believe you're top of the standings as well. So
Yeah.
you are indeed with a gap of 26 points to Spreader. So it's that is still pretty tight with the points this season. So
Yeah,
between your
yeah.
spread. So are you,
The absence in Imola didn't help.
yeah, of course, missing Imola didn't help, and I don't think spreads had any DNFs or anything yet. And he's
No, and the worst
podiumed
results he's
most of them.
had is Monaco, and that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So but you've both pulled out a nice gap to Atkins, so it's looking like a two-way battle between the two of you. So are you going to beat him?
Spread.
Oh, Spridge just joined the party. Yeah,
Oh,
are you going
hello.
to beat him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's left
Yes,
again.
I am.
Excellent. Okay, so um, and what team do you drive for? You drive for Haas, is that right?
Hey, yep.
You do, and let's have a quick look then. So Fangio
We are in
standards.
lead
I get
by
so
about
confused with this
20
sometimes.
points, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, so you're leading 15 points at the moment against Alpine.
15, right.
Yeah, so not too bad. Who drives for Alpine then?
Spread and Andy.
Spread and Andy. And who's your teammate?
Gumba.
Gumba. Who's yeah, he's had a struggling season this so far, Gumba, but he's just showed little signs in recent races that he might be starting to come back
Yeah,
to a
he's
bit
had
of
a few
form.
good
So
results recently.
yeah, so hopefully he starts coming back to form because then you'll probably leave Alpine in the dust as well for that. Um, anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
it's all a bit thrown together, obviously, because as I say, I'm supposed to be interviewing Taz, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunately, from what I can gather, his internet's not working or something. So, um,
Alright.
right, okay. So, anyway, we'll just get on with the more fun part. So, we'll do the quick fire questions first. So, if you've seen this before, you'll know what it is. It's a series of, I think it's about 12 questions, and it's just quick fire. Just answer basically the first thing that comes into your head. So it's all sort of what or who is your favourite. So what is your favourite colour?
Purple.
Favourite food?
Okay, now you're asking. Balti curry.
Curry. Favourite animal?
Dog.
Favourite Formula One team?
There you. Favorite for. McLaren.
What's your favourite drink?
Cider.
Nice. Mine too. What's your favourite singer or band, past or present?
Did I say more than one?
Yeah, you can say more than one if you want.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Green Day, and Linkin Park.
Nice, okay. Favourite football team?
Southampton.
Favourite Formula One track?
To drive or to watch a race at?
It could be either. Either.
To drive, Monaco. Definitely not to watch a race at. To watch a race, probably Monza or Spa or something like
Cool.
that.
Okay.
Silverstone's pretty good usually.
Yeah. What's your
Something
favourite
like the
TV
old
show?
ones. Oh, well, Top Gear.
Okay. Who's your favourite Doctor Who?
David Tennant.
Okay. Favourite Formula One driver?
Current?
Past or present?
Jensen Button.
Oh, okay. Didn't expect that. Who is your favourite PRF1 admin?
Can I say
Not yourself. You can't
myself?
choose yourself. No. You've got
Ah.
to choose another one.
Red.
Did you say spread?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Excellent. Okay. That's your quick fire questions. So, um, right. Right. Okay. So, one question left to go. That's our if you could be and why.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you could be a nut, what nut would you be and why?
I don't really like nuts, but probably peanuts because they're the only ones that I really like.
Okay, I'm glad to hear you that you like peanuts. Don't say that too fast. And okay, yeah, you've answered why as well. So fair enough. That's a good answer. Nice. Okay, well, they're heading into qualifying, mate. So I expect to speak to you at the end. And can we?
Well, I don't know. I'm not brilliant at this. If you remember last season, then maybe not.
Still. And can we expect a pole position? Do you reckon? What? I'm expecting the pole
I
position
don't
time to
know.
be mid-19s. I think so.
Yeah, it's very difficult to hook a lap round here, even though there's not many corners. So,
Yeah,
and there's quite a few quick people in here now. I mean, Ollie's had great pace in quali in the practice session. Robbo's showed great pace last race. Spreads, Axel, Spriggs, Lion. There's loads of
there's
Botjan.
lots, isn't there now? Yeah,
There's loads of people that can get pole
so
if everything goes
competitive.
well for
Yeah,
them. So, yeah.
yeah. All right then, mate. Well, I best let you get to it. So good luck. 'Cause it is only a short qualifying session. I've already taken up a minute of it for
Yeah, it
you.
is.
So off you go, buddy. And good luck
Thank you
for
very much.
tonight.
Cheers.
All the best. Right, there we go, guys. That was Sergeant Kamarov. Thank you to him for doing an interview such I mean it wasn't there. I was going to say it was such short notice. There was no notice. It was literally, oh, hang on, I've just realised Taz internet ain't working, and so he can't race tonight. So I just invited a few people, and luckily Kamarov joined. So thank you to him for being a good sport and doing that. That's awesome. Um, Jensen Button favourite Formula One driver. That was a good. I didn't expect that. I always used to like Jensen. Always liked Jensen for his whole career. But so happy for him when he won the title. But, there we go. Who else we got here? Don't worry. I can only just see your invite. I was like, right, okay. Don't worry. It's all right, mate. I didn't realise that Taz wasn't going to be racing tonight. So that's my own fault. It's because I've been pretty much avoiding Discord today. I thought I'd have a little bit of a day away from it, to be honest. So I'd just seen it earlier. So in a way, here with Robert Gillen, who's first across the line to start a hot lap. What's this? First chicane, becoming a bit of a notorious chicane. I mean, whoever decided to put that chicane as the first corner of the track is going to be spending the afterlife standing next to, well, on the left-hand side of Satan, I think. So there we have it. Horrible, horrible opening corner, and unfortunately, it does lead to a lot of incidents in the online gaming. Hopefully, if there are any tonight, there are any small ones, but hopefully we'll avoid them. So, I would say it's looked pretty tidy from Robert Gillen. He's had to back out there. He was just slightly wide on the first part of Ascari. So he's had to back out the lap slightly. Or not out the lap, sorry, just out of the... getting on the power on the exit. Not really a curb you want to be touching there on the inside. Parabolica, but he's okay, crosses the line, 21.3, decent starting time just to get one on the board. White line immediately at 20.3, 21.7 from Dart Lord. There we go, they're all going to cross one after the other. We'll end up on the one on the right lap, won't I? There we go, Scott 22.0, Face Advantage 23.7, Ollie goes fastest 20.2. This is his teammate, James Muck 92, I'm just calling him James obviously. And he goes into P4, 21.3. Who's that? Sorry, Robbo. More times coming through as well. Kamarov already a time on the board, so it's leaving us, so 20.3. Robbo goes into P4, 20.4. There's a Red Bull on its way. That is Shrek, who goes fastest on a 20.1, which is a very good, very solid first lap performance from Shrek. So fair play to him. We can really try and push on and find those extra few temps now that could give him a pole position. 19.5, as I said to Kamarov, might be a bit too high an expectation. It will be in the 19s. I'm positive of that, but whether we'll get down as far as 19.5, I'm not sure. Spriggs, who's just come out of Ascari. There's a yellow flag down there, and I think that's... Oh, sorry, no, he's just on his way up to Ascari. Just on the little straight after Ascari, there's a yellow flag keeps appearing, and I think that is... It's either a car has run out of fuel, or they're just moving over. Staying out of the way. I think there's a car pretty much stopped trying to stay out of the way of other drivers, so... Yeah, just on the right-hand side there, as you can see, doesn't it? You don't want to stay there too much. It looked like an Aston Martin, so it might be fatal defiance. We don't want to stay there too much because the game will disqualify him. He does that. Spriggs then 20.6, and that only puts him in P8. I think you'd have been surprised to see a 20.6 only put in P8 at this point of qualifying. That's a bit of a shock, but at some point there has invalidated. Just to mention, we've got a full grid tonight, which is always brilliant. Ah, fair enough, don't Mark. That is an important thing. That's very true. How would a Citroen get round there? I don't. Well, be interesting to see actually. It would be interesting to see some normal cars doing some of the Formula 1 tracks actually in real life. I don't. Oh, if Codemasters get wind of this somehow, and I'd send put normal cars in it, please don't put normal cars in the game. But it would be pretty cool to see that in real life. She was sort of Top Gear for many years, and I don't think we've got anybody on hot laps at the moment. There is a few out laps going on quite early on there. Yeah, it's just started the lap. Well, I could have done the hilly hot lap with Atkins, but a little bit too late. So yeah, we could do it if that is who I think it is. Yeah, Bosjan is just coming out of Ascari. I think we might nip to Bosjan in just a second and do the hilly hot lap with him. Really good from Atkins through Lesmos. 1, and now Lesmos 2. Yeah. Look at a pretty decent lap from Atkins. I don't think he's fully 100% committed to pushing on this. He looks a bit more to me like he's, you know, he wants to get a decent time on the board, but he does want to get the time on the board. So I think he's just, you know, just being a little bit careful with it. Oh, I completely forgot about going to Bosjan. My apologies. He's down at Lesmos now, so way too late for that. We'll pick somebody else in a way. Atkins then 20.7, unbelievably, just behind his teammate Dre, only putting P10, already down to P11. Somebody's crossed the line. Sergeant Amarov. We'll have an interview with him. Should we do a hilly hot lap with him? It looks like he's about to start one. Cross the line, DRS open. So the energy will be on hot lap. Heading down to the first chicane. Absolute nightmare of a corner. Heavy braking. Must look to get a good exit. So important to get a good exit. That's actually where your time is in that chicane, is getting on the power on the exit. And turn 3 is just this long right-hander. It's a nothing corner really. And qualifying, you tend to keep it to the inside like you just saw Cammy do, then to the second chicane. Use a bit of curb now, whereas you couldn't do that before because it used to launch you into the air. But, they took that away in real life, and they were very quick to do so in the game as well, which is good. Through the 2 Lesmos corners, very nicely done. Usually take both in 5th, I would say. Under the bridge, heading up to Ascari, usually down to 4-4 5th. And yeah, Kamarov in 5th, that would be my preference too. And exits, very nice through Ascari. Heading down now to Parabolica, should be 5th again through Parabolica. So you don't really use the low gears very much around Monza, just the chicanes really, the first 2 chicanes. But and the second one you're probably doing third or fourth. In a way, Kamarov is first into the 19s, so 19.9, and that puts him top of the pile for the moment. Nice lap from Cami. Evening, Greza. Up your bell, buddy. He's into Parabolica, exits out, and see if we can keep it nice and sort of right. It's basically the path of least resistance. Shortest run to the line. 120.3 from spreads. Amazingly, that's P6. So competitive. Look at this. P13 Atkins is on a 20.7. He's just... Well, he's 0.699 off of pole. That's how close this qualifying is at the moment. That is P13, 0.699 off of pole at the moment. Fatal now. Thing there with Fatal. Let's hold on to the... Oh, actually, I think he might be on an in lap. Where he's gone around there, I think it's an in lap. Okay, fair enough. Operator then. Early in a lap here, but we'll stick with him. See how the Ferrari man can get on. Teammate at the moment. Teammate today is Bosjan. Well, his teammate is Bosjan, and he's currently up in P4 as operator runs rather wide out of the second chicane. So we're back out of this or continue on. Quite nervy looking over the second Lesmos then. Gets up to the end of the second sector and is quite a way down. So yeah, actually I think he backed out. I think that's why he looked the way he did out of second Lesmos, because his energy's only been going up there. So what about Axel? How's he moving on? I do believe this is a start of a hot lap, and done by Axel's performances since he joined the league. It's definitely not going for a lap here. I think he's backed out. I think maybe he'd lost some time through the first chicane and has decided to back out the lap immediately. Maybe have another go on the same set at the end of do another out lap effectively. But yeah, going by his performances so far since he joined the league, he's certainly in with a chance of pole position. As Kamarov said in his interview, there's multiple drivers that if they were to put their best lap in, it could well take pole. So hard to do it though. It's called the Temple of Speed, and it is the track that you spend the most time on full throttle on the calendar. But at the same time, the corners really are there to be attacked here at Monza. They're not ones to take lightly. You've got to throw your car into them. You want to get the best time you can. At the same time, when you do that, you are risking spinning. And, just feel like the outshape coming out of the first chicane. Let's see what he's like through sector 1. Oh no, I don't think he's on a hot lap. I think he just finished the lap, didn't he? Sorry, my apologies. I wasn't paying attention properly then. Just got wide. And Lesmos 2. Get up under the bridge. Now the Crypto.com bridge. Nicely into Parabolica. How wide does he go? Not too wide. So again, as you see, that's what you see people doing on hot laps or on time trial now. It's keeping the car to the right, coming out of Parabolica. Never used to be the way, and it's definitely not the way in real life, but so again, just a bit wide out the first Lesmo there, but that's not too bad. It actually kind of helped him for the second, which he took very nicely. To the end of sector 2, couple of attempts up. Like through Ascari. And that's pretty nice through Ascari, I'm very confident. Oh, this car needs to spot him. This car needs to spot him. It's not really ideal. Could be worse. To the right then, Fatal, and he is going to improve. And it's 4 attempts in the end, up to P15, and a nice lap that from Fatal, 121.2. Oh, little spin there from Dart Lord. He's only on an out lap, so it's not ruined the lap there. He's actually on an out lap, coming around to start his final attempt. Up to the top then, Ollie currently in P2, which is a superlative performance so far, and he's improved through sector 1. Oh. Luckily, Haas gets out of the way. Hopefully that's not taken Ollie's eye off the scar. He seems to take it well. I don't think it affected him too much. Short shift there, coming out of Parabolic. That will affect the straight line speed. Across the line then, 19.8, and goes provisional pole. Nice lap, Ollie. Is anyone able to beat him? Kamarov across the line. Oh, he's starting a lap, sorry. Shrek just about to start a lap. Boshian, I think, is taking an extra out lap, and he's on his way around to start again. What about Dre? He seems to be closer to a real time. No, he's not. What am I talking about? All going on to laps, so let's go to Cami then. 10th up, through sector 1. So that 10th really needs to displace Ollie. Opens up his DRS. Heads on up. Oh, he's invalidated it! It's not going to be a Sergeant Kamarov pole position. Shrek not improving through sector 1. Robbo, by the way, is headed up to P3 on his final run on a 120.092. Don't think he's improving. Anybody else? No. Shrek did indeed back off and go into the pits. Axel. Yep, he's improving through sector 2. I think this is going to leap him up to either second or third. But in fact, he takes pole. I said he was definitely potential pole position. He's definitely nailed a lap there, and that is pole position, unless Dark Lord's got anything in his locker, but no. Into the pits he comes. And well done against Axel, who takes pole position. Of course, it is sort of sprint race, so in a way it's just the qualifying for the qualifying. But it is a pole position nonetheless for Axel. So well done, Axel and Ollie Champ. What a lap, Ollie. Superb. So, as I suggested a bit earlier in the session, we didn't quite reach the dizzy heights of the 19.5 that I thought we might, but we may have done if it was a full qualifying session. I think Short just Makes everything a bit rushed for the drivers, but look at this. The top 13, I mentioned it earlier on, it's 0.699. It's still only 0.745. The top 13 is covered by 3/4 of a second. It's absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what we want to see. We love it. Absolutely love it. Terrible, says Dark Mark. I didn't go down the old order like I normally do. Apologies. I'll do that now. I should be able to do it now. I believe. If I look at the race director. Here we go. So yeah, it was pole position for Axel. Ollie Champ P2, Sergeant Kamarov in 3, Robbo in 4, Shrek in 5, Boschian 6, Dre in 7, all the way down to P8 before we find Spreader. P9 for White Lion, 10 for Atkins, Davis in 11th. Dark Mark then P12. Well, as I said, Dark Mark, it was exceptionally close. Top 13, as I say, covered by 3/4 of a second, so brilliant. Spriggs P13, lower than you normally expect to see Spriggs. Robert Gillen P14, James E. Mack 1992, who I keep trying to remember that I'll just call James, but P15. Dark Lord in 16, Fatal Defiance 17, Scott in 18, Gumba in 19, and Operator in P20. You lost nearly 5/10 on your last lap, Dark Mark. Let me guess, Ascari? Ascari's the one that gets me every time. Hate it, absolutely hate Ascari. So, I didn't actually check how many laps the sprint is. Guess it's probably 9 or 10, isn't it? I would have thought. Monza's 27 laps, so yeah, it should be 9, I think. It's exceptionally close qualifying. Could be an indication that we could be going to see an exceptionally close race, but let's get through. Operator 9, yeah, thank you, Operator Ollie. 9. Ollie, great lap, buddy. Superb lap. I thought you got it. It's Axel. Well, in fact, Axel put in an absolutely superb final sector to actually get all the way to pole. I didn't really consider that he was going to do that, if I'm honest. Yeah, Greza, that could actually be the downfall of Great Race around here, is that you may well end up with a... Well, it could end up with at least the first 13 drivers in a huge DRS train, which could actually kill the race slightly. Hopefully not. So I just hope they all get through. Not just turn 1, because it's... The first 2 chicanes are a nightmare. Really, I would say the first few laps. If everybody can get through cleanly in the first few laps, then we're on to something. It's one of those tracks you could easily see 3 safety cars around here, but at the same time you could well get a clean no safety car race as well, so I don't really suggest under fueling around here. It affects your performance too much in my opinion, but if you have to fuel save later in the race, so I think I would just go with the correct amount of fuel and see what happens, in my opinion. But each to their own on that sort of stuff. I seem to use a lot more fuel than others. I don't know, must be style of driving, but I only actually found out in Monaco when I realised I was having to use a huge amount more starting fuel than anybody else. Anyway, we are on to the formation lap for the sprints, and let's get our details up. I expect everybody to be on mediums, and indeed they are. So exactly what you'd expect, really. Yeah, it is tempting to try softs around here, but the last time I saw somebody do that, there were 2 drivers in the same sprint, and both of them got punctures on the final lap. So I would say not really ideal to use softs, but somebody who's good on their tyres probably could get them through. But you know, if you're looking after tyres in a sprint race, you're not really going full pelt, which is what the sprint race tends to be about. So yeah, who should we watch off the start then? I generally tend to like going on board with the fourth place driver, which tonight is Robbo. Spreader. Actually, who's host, Grezza? I don't think Spreader is host, is he? Is Kamarov host? I know Kamarov's name is at the top of the lobby, so does that mean he's host? Or Spreader's name is halfway down? So, obviously, sprint race would just be through no pit stops, only unless somebody gets damaged, and then they'll be in. The main race should just be a one stop, medium and hard. Could do a soft hard, I guess, but a hard soft. But seems likely a couple of disqualifications there. Master Spread and Atkins. You know, we assume have had some sort of contact, although and they can have had contact when there's a car in between them. I'm not sure, but doesn't really matter in a way. Some people get a bit funny about it because they say, oh, their tyres get cold and they lose places at the start. I don't actually think it matters that much, but maybe that's just because I'm a terrible starter, so I just think it's like my tyres are like 50 degrees every time I start. Track like this, you can almost guarantee I'll lose 5 or 6 positions at the start, but it was more than that last time I started here. But anyway, we're on to the sprint race then. Lights are on. And out they go. And the action seems to be slow. I can only assume that was a bit of lag, as I'm guessing Spreader is the host. Oh my goodness. Spreader up to P3, and I think that was more because he got sort of closed off. I think he could have got all the way to the front. Oh, Bosjan is out. There's, oh goodness me, that's a big contact. It was the right tyre that was ripped off, which would suggest contact with a wall. But there was contact with someone else beforehand, you would think so. The only way I could see he could have done that without having contact with another driver is if he'd lit the tyres up on the curb and it's thrown him sort of into the wall, but I'd imagine that was probably a contact with another driver. So at least it is the sprint race. And Bosjan, if I'm absolutely honest with you... Oh, Wally! No, Wally! What's he done? Leading the sprint race. Took the lead at the start, but he's picked up a drive-through. Davis, was that a drive-through as well? No, he's got 3 seconds already as Davis. Kamarov, see really close on the back of Axel. No DRS yet, so he's having to rely on the old-fashioned slipstream. And it looks like he's got that done. And Axel falls in behind. It's close in behind there. It looks like Spreader's leading group here. Group of 4 drivers, in fact. So it's Spreader, Robbo, Shrek, Spriggs. Spriggs? Goodness me, what a start he's had. So, a little bit of lag on the screen there as that's come around that corner, but that's probably me. These guys looking the most likely at the moment. Oh, I do feel for Ollie, you know, with that drive-through. his best qualifying performance in PRF1 to date, by quite a way as well, and took the lead to start the race. So, DRS enabled. Ollie decided he wants to lead for another lap, so he stayed out. He sets the fastest lap of the race as well. Here is Spriggs charging to the outside of White Lion. Let's leave the room, and they do. Nice bit of driving by the looks of it. I don't know if they had a little bit of contact on the exit, but they were good through the chicane. But that is Dre, is it? On the back of them? It was, yeah. And he's just falling off a little bit from the back. So as he runs wide into the second chicane. Oh, he's got out of shape, does he? Or was that lag on my screen? It might have been lag. It's White Lion here. Spriggs is becoming vulnerable. He's fallen out of the 1 second. So is Axel actually a bit further up. Yeah, I'm just going to have to, as Dark Mark gets past Dre, into Ascari. Oh no! That was Atkins lost it. I didn't see any contact there. I think Atkins lost it on the exit of Ascari. And, well, there was contact in the sense that he made contact with his teammate, but that's because he spun. It's a spread because I thought we were going to probably get a move from him on Axel. I'm getting a lot of lag here, you know. What's going on? Not any other devices attached, so it's not that. Oh, it's absolutely tipping down with rain outside, so that's probably the weather. Oh well. I can't control that, unfortunately. Spreader still taking a look at Axel. Just going to have to try and stay close. It's just there, isn't it? He loses a bit of time for the first Lesmos. And seems to lose a little bit, in my opinion, on the second as well. And so this DRS, really, Davis drops down. He's round at the first Lesmos. Ascari. So I think with DRS down that straight, it can lead to overtakes if you come out of Lesmos close enough, but it's usually it's more used for getting close to the car to enable the overtake on the pit straight. So they're still looking a little bit far away at the moment. Here he comes, or maybe not too far away, you know. It is a powerful DRS zone. And yeah, he's got that done way before we go into braking, so Axel does stay there, and he does defend it. I think Spreader's got a better exit, and through he goes. So decent defence there from Axel, but couldn't quite hold him off. But he's going to be close enough, of course, for DRS himself. Where did Ollie? Oh god, yeah, Ollie's down to P15. That drive-through really has hurt. Here's Axel. Is he going to get the opportunity? Oh, we've got yellow flags, and it's fatal defiance. It's at the second chicane. Didn't quite see him there, but that's where he was. Davis is just exiting the pits after his moment has caused him damage. Clearly, he's pitted. He's gone on softs. So choosing to continue through to the end of the sprint. It is possible you can have safety cars in the sprint. So, oh, and James on debut, it's just round. But by the looks of it, it's spun on the exit of Ascari. And Gumba and Operator up the place each. See, no, Axel. Oh, is just narrowing down the gap slightly. Not going to get close enough for a move here, so Just a bit difficult, it's as Greza suggested. So as Greza suggested, the DRS trains come into play around here. And hey James, that was confusing me for a second there, because I got James, you there, James 1994, and I got a James on track, James 1992. Oh, Shrek looks like he may have got a little... He's getting a double toe, of course. It's giving him a chance, but he backs off slightly there. Spreader. Is he going to defend Spreader? He looks like he is. I'd have been half tempted to give that up if I was Spreader and run behind him DRS for a little bit. Look at Shrek though. Some great speed of Shrek. So I don't mean to give these guys the massive monopoly of airtime here in the sprint, but it's just, this is where the battle is, and it's grown even bigger as the two cars behind have gotten onto the back of them as well. You see how Ollie was speeding as such, seems harsh. It always does, mate. It always does. This, yeah, it's hard to argue with a drive-through one, really. I mean, the game's obviously programmed. Is he red when it went green? When when the lights go green, and he must have been in red. Game deemed him to be. So I do feel sorry for him. He's back up to P11, by the way. He's making a great fist of it, of getting back up the field a bit. If he could actually get back up into the top 10, that would be some performance. He's got 2 seconds to catch up on Robert Gillen to try and do that. Well, it's already some performance from him as Axel goes to the inside of Spreader. Attempt to switch back, just getting a little bit lag. Yapping when cars are close on my screen. Looks like Axel is going ahead, and it was almost like Spreader invited him to there. I think almost like Spreader said, "You go on, I want to be the car behind," going on to the last lap. Just to mention, these aren't the only battles going on. Dark Lord is close to the back of Scott for P12. Atkins is right on the back of Dark Lord as well. Plenty of other battles going on. It's just, as I say, this is the one that seems to be giving us the opportunities for the overtakes. Ooh, now. Axel definitely seemed to get through Ascari better. Is he using any energy? He's not. He's keeping his energy for defense down the home straight. And we've got a retirement. White Lion is out at Ascari. He's over on the right hand side over there. Let's go straight back up. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get it. Shrek's still lying in wait for something to happen here. We'll switch back, try it. Oh! And Axel gets out of shape on the exit. And drops to P3. Spreader up into second. Lucky Spreader. And with that launch that Spreader got on the sprint, you've got to say he's almost certainly going to be P1 in the race into turn 1. So I think answering the own question that I asked Grezzo about who was host, I think it's definitely Spreader. And by the launch he got. So here we are then. Coming up to finish. So can't get anywhere close. And using their energy. Now, I really am surprised sometimes when people let their energy go right away down to 0. It's a massive effect on your straight line speed. Anyway, Kamarov takes the checkered flag in the sprint here at Monza. Um, oh, my timings went a bit weird then. Master Spread P2, Axel P3, Shrek in 4, Spriggs in 5, Robbo 6, Dark Mark 7, Dre in 8, Robert Gillen, brilliant in 9, Ollie, superb. He did get back into P10. Absolutely superb performance. I do feel for him. But Scott in P11, good performance in the sprint from him. Atkins P12, Dark Lord 13, Gumbo in 14, Mason places up, James 15. After that spin at Ascari, Operator P16, Davis in 17, the only one who had to pit. Unfortunately, we lost White Lion at Ascari, Face of Defiance, I think, down at the second chicane. And Boshan was coming out of the first chicane right at the start. So that is our sprint race. Super impressed with the driving standards, says Grazzy. Yeah, I was there, mate, as well, actually. No, yeah, good point. Let's speak too early. Can't be a lot. I guess that means that that's supposed to be. Can't believe that I was in the green by over a tenth. Did you think to clip it? I mean, there's not really much we could do, Ollie, being a sprint race, especially. But it would be good to clip it so that we can make. You know, if you did get a clip of it, stick it in Discord. And in fact, stick it in the Discord and tag me if you can, or send it to me privately. Said it's not a lot we could do about it, but it's good to know these things and that they're occurring and happening. And, oh my goodness, I actually got to look at the instants. That doesn't normally happen. Quickly scroll through those so that the stewards have got them in case they need them. Yeah, I can imagine it's really annoying. Clips, but nothing to do, yeah. Yeah, but if you could send it to me, Ollie, that would be great. Or as I say, put it in Discord, I don't mind. But if you put it on the general chat or something, just tag me on it so that I can find it easy. But yeah, bound to be really annoying, mate. You did really well to get back up to 10th, by the way. Obviously, everybody, don't forget we will be taking a break now because Illy needs his coffee. But I'll be back shortly as we get ready to go for 27 laps of Monza, Temple of Speed. See you in a bit. Right, hello guys, back with you as we wait for the race start. I should get a coffee sponsor, shouldn't I? People are getting sponsors for their streams now. I know Arc has just got a sponsor for their Twitch streaming and all that sort of thing. So I should get one, and I should get Nescafe. I don't think companies as big as Nescafe really do get people to, advertise on Twitch, to be fair, but, maybe a lesser coffee brand. Perhaps I could do that and I could get free coffee for the rest of my life. That'd be incredible. Maybe I should make my own coffee. Hill Espresso. Hill Espresso. Kenko the superior coffee? That is, like, wow. I should actually, yeah. I mean, I'd just mute you for that, really. Oh, I'm not going to lie. How's Kenko the superior coffee? What you on, man? Kenko? I'd rather have Sainsbury's own than Kenko. Here we go then. The ready up's gone out and the countdown has finished. We head into track. Obviously formation lap first. 27 laps. It will be. I'm expecting to see a mix of mediums and hards, and maybe one or two softs. But let's have a quick look. Yeah, just a one set of softs. In fact, Boshan down at the back has decided to start on softs. I'm not exactly sure why Boshan would do that from the back, actually. Fatal gets disqualified. Cammy, Spreader. Well, the top 8 all on mediums. Robert Gillen's on hards. And then Ollie in 10, Scott in 11, and Atkins in P12, all on mediums. Dark Lord Goomba and James was then going with the hards. Mediums for Operator Davis and White Lion. Hards for Fatal Defiance, and softs, as I said, for Boshan. So, well, we'll see Spreader start, but if he's not P1 by turn 1, I'll eat me socks. That host advantage. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Fatal. I'm disgusted by that comment. Absolutely disgusted. You're not getting driver of the day today. I normally like to actually start off on P4. We don't usually get a good angle from the broadcast camera, although it's not the worst, to be fair, is it? Let's clear the screen. Camera off. Haas at the front. Spreader in the Alpine at P2. Axel P3 in the Aston Martin. Watch. Spreader start here. The lights are on. And out they go. Well, they went out when Spreader reacted on his screen. Look at that. That is what the host advantage means at Monza. It's insane. Absolutely insane. The most foregone conclusion in the history of this game. Is, they've had to be careful rejoining in the Aston, and it looks like he's gone back on okay. Guys behind him just needs to be a bit careful. He's obviously not going to have the speed. Oh, and that's somebody into the wall. Was an Aston. I'm going to have to get the details back up, and it's Axel in the wall there. So spreader leads from Kamarov, Spriggs in P3. So Spriggs has gotten into P3, Shrek P4, Robbo P5, Robbo just outside the 1 second of Shrek. This could be an opportunity for the top 4 to break or create a bit of a gap to the to create a following pack. As you can see in this sort of midfield. Well, from Robbo and P5, so not really midfield there, but down to P13, all within a second of each other. Still, so no DRS yet, so that's not going to have an impact. But Robert Gillen gets past Goomba and into P14. Goomba very slow through there. I think Operator looking to take advantage of that, and that he does into P15. I think that's it's all lagging about on my screen, unfortunately, so I'm not too confident in saying I think there may have been some contact, but maybe not. It might have been one of the signs on the speed signs on the side that's taken out to put white foam. So, oh, Atkins has spun. There he is. As he rejoins. Oh, goodness me. Solidified just as change was coming past. Must be careful rejoining. Boshan. Nice little switchback move there on Goomba. And Boshan goes through, and it looks to me like Fatal may have a little run as well. We approach up to Ascari. And indeed, Fatal manages to outbreak Goomba. I'm not overly sure, as I said, if Goomba's got any damage there or not. Can't see any. I guess we'll find out if he pits. But, head back up. It's a battle for P2. Spriggs having a look at Kamarov. Oh! Well done. There's a little love tap on the exit, should we call it? But made their way through. Always impressed when people make their way through there, side by side. Not easy to have a yellow flag down at sector 1. Appears to be... Oh, Fatal making his way through the slalom, quite literally, as he takes out most of the chevron. Things. Oh, that's funny. Oh, and we've got a retirement. Scott is out. Oh, careful, guys. He's in the middle of the track. That will be a safety car. No way we're getting away with that one. Saying no way we're getting away with that one. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I can't see a safety car in the pit lane, but it just appeared as I was about to say it. So, this is a full safety car. Well, it's early. Surely Boshan's got to switch to hards here. If we ended up with no more safety cars in this race and Boshan switches to hards, he would leap so far up the order, but it's hard to imagine, if I'm honest, because of the races I've seen at Monza. It's really hard to imagine this race going with no more safety cars, but there's always a chance that it could. The instant there, by the way, I don't think, just going by where Scott's car was, I wouldn't have thought that was contact with another driver. would think he's probably just run a bit wide on the exit of Lesmos 2, which is this corner here. And either he's just put the power down on the curb and it's thrown him across, or he may have even put the power down and touched the gravel slightly and it's thrown him across. But I suspect that's what's happened, and he's been thrown across into the wall on the opposite side, and off came his wheel. So we'll wait then. And just if anybody's thinking, well, isn't it too early to go to hards? Well, look, they will suffer at the end of the race a bit, but they will make it. They'll do they will do the full 27 laps around here at Monza. So there is no doubt in my mind that White Lion and Boshan can get to the end of this race. But as I say, the likelihood is that we will have another safety car at some point. But as I say, if something's a likelihood, doesn't mean it's got to happen. So, Robbo pits. What's Robbo presumably going to do? Follow suit? Did he need a new wing at all? Doesn't look like it. But yeah. Seems to be held there for a long time, so yeah, no, I think he did need a new front wing. We couldn't see it, the shot was such that we couldn't see it, but the way he was held there, that must have been for a new wing. So, he's on to the fresh hards as well. So it's those three drivers, so just keep that in mind. White Lion, Boshan, Robbo onto fresh hards, potentially going to the end of this race. Oh dear, Ollie. Again, hope you clip that. You don't want that sort of thing happening. So, Spreader, that ridiculous advantage. I reckon Grezza, we tell Spreader he's got to start from the back from now on. He's got a host and he's got to start from the back. He don't have a choice in the matter. It's just he's got to. I'll tell him if I interview him afterwards from the podium, I'll tell him in that. So I'll tell him that me and Grezza have already decided, even though you've not had a chance to even react yet. I'm just going to say, Grezza said. That's what I'm going to say. I won't mention that I brought it up. I'll just say Grezza said. Oh, nice coffee. Right, so safety car has continued on, but everybody has caught up. So this will be the final lap under the safety car, which means we're going to get going on lap 7 of 27, which means 21 laps remain. And as I said, the hards will do that easy. So if you actually think about it, you'd be doing 15, 16 laps, something like that on hards in a way. So you're only pushing them another 4 to 5 laps, and then, as I say, they'll do that easy. So I wouldn't rule out the possibility that we could see one of those guys win this race if it's safety car free from here on in. Be interesting. I mean, it would be interesting because we'll be seeing Spreader and Kamarov presumably having to chase him down later in the race. Obviously it depends, because there's a little way to go until the guys ahead of them pit out the way, so they do need to be able to make their way through, particularly against the drivers that started the race on hards. They're going to have to make their way through safely. Probably the game, I think, because it normally slows the lead driver down, but it's just slowed Spreader down right on the turn in for Ascari. It looks like everybody's okay, but obviously when the lead driver slows, and as I say, the game forces him, he doesn't have a choice in the matter, it forces him to slow. It does cause a little ripple effect all the way through the field for the other drivers, so say Ascari, just on the entry of Ascari, isn't the nicest of places for the game to do that. But anyway, go, get ready to go, and off he goes. Spreader, Kamarov looks like he was napping slightly. Spriggs is trying to take advantage of that, but obviously everybody has great straight line speed at Monza. So Spriggs on the outside. I heard a little bit of contact there. 10 seconds for operator corner cutting in on, he's out. Oh, it's absolutely, I think the Ferrari's been destroyed. I can only presume that somebody's missed their brake in there at turn 1. And, oh, we've got contact there as well, and that's pushed. Oh, it's all starting to happen now. Dark Lord has ended up round into Atkins as well. Yeah, it's the two of them. They seems to be waiting for each other to get going. Can't see any obvious signs of damage on Atkins' car. And I can't see any obvious signs of damage on Dark Lord's car, so hopefully they can both continue on. To mention that Boshan is already up into P11. So a great restart for him. It's really not shocking at all to see some contacts happening on a restart here at Monza. You got, what, a good afterfield on hard tyres. The mediums on low temperature are difficult. The hards are really difficult at low temperatures, so it's not massively shocking to see it, really. I think James there has had a little spin in Parabolica, and so he's opted to come straight into the pits. But his teammate is in the pits ahead of him. Ollie is already in the pits. It's a disaster for McLaren. Oh, goodness me. Absolute disaster for McLaren. And, that's Dark Lord in as well. So it looks like Atkins has continued on. So Atkins has been able to continue. Well, that really is disaster for McLaren. They are going to need a safety car now. They're going to get anything from this race. Such a shame, as I say, though, for Ollie, who's performed really well. Performed really well here at Monza. And, oh, this could be a safety car. Fatal. Defiance is out. It's the same place. It's Lesbos 2. It's the same place as Scott. And that will be a safety car. And, well, Boshan is about to make up. Boshan, I think, well, he may even end up P1 here. It's going to be P1 or P2 in what I would think. Surely all the medium drivers will pit. Nothing to even think about here. They will all pit. Just whether Robert does. No, he doesn't. So Robert Gillen will take the lead. And Boshan will be P2. See Boshan going to the end. Robert Gillen will still have to pit. There's pit stops occurring. So White Lions jumps up to P3. Gumba has jumped at the P4. He stayed out. But again, he's still on his... the tyres he started the race on. Robbo has jumped at the P5, so it is those early pitters that are all leading as it stands. So it's worked out for him. They've got to... yeah, okay. The guys behind are going to have a slight tyre advantage. But bear in mind, they've barely done any race time on those hard tyres. It's mostly safety car laps that they've done on them, so yes, it wears the tyres slightly, but nowhere near as much as race laps do. Kamarov come out behind Spriggs, so the Kamarov maybe need a new wing there, so a few seconds behind Spriggs, so maybe. What else? Axel on some mediums then. It's going to be a case of if they can get the mediums through to the end. Again, they may well be able to do it. But again, though, very much like those guys that pitted early for hards, the tyres will struggle towards the end of the race. There's no doubts about that. Atkins is on soft. Surely he's going to pit again. I don't see any reason to be on softs here at all. Surely that's never the correct way to go. So yeah, Atkins back in. So Atkins onto a fresh set of hards then. I think really for him, he's still going to want another safety car, ideally Atkins, to try and mix things up a little bit. It's going to be hard for him to make his way through a field of drivers that are on fresh tyres effectively. Apart from the couple of drivers at the front, so Robert Gillen in P1 and Gumbo in P4, apart from them, everybody has pitted. And I believe are all going to the end of the race. Obviously, we'll see how the guys who... So Boshan, Robbo, White Lion, we'll see how they fare against Spreader, Spriggs and Kamarov, Shrek, etc. Dre, Dartmark, Davis. We'll see how they fare against them. It's I can see them being alright. Particularly Boshan, White Lion, Robbo even. See them being alright and managing it. Safety car in this lap. That is a really late call. It's a super late call. Robert Gillen doesn't hang about. He goes, and Boshan completely expected that and reacted to it. Boshan to the outside then of Robert Gillen. Got a good view of... Oh, Robert Gillen. Oh, no, it's alright. That's lag on my screen. Oh, bloody lag. Boshan takes the lead. White Lion into P2. Robert Gillen down to 3 now then. Gumbo drops behind Master Spread to P6. And White Lion, I think, has had a little moment at the second chicane. He drops down to P5. That's not ideal for Boshan. Oh, he's dropped down to P3, in fact, so maybe they had a bit of contact, the two of them. Robbo now into P2, and Robert Gillen back into the lead. It's, presumably. Spreader then. Yeah, so quite an active restart there, actually. Spreader's P4, Spriggs is P6. Cameron's actually dropped the P9. He's now on the back of his teammate, so presumably Gumbo will allow him for him to P8. But, yeah, I think this is where those guys that started on the hards that didn't pit may regret that choice slightly now. So lots going on, as always. So Robert Gillen hold him off at the moment. At the moment, Robbo and Boshan battling each other somewhat. As Boshan's ended up round, and off comes his front wing. And I think that'll be a safety car. Saw in the background, I'm sure I saw somebody go off first in the background. And Boshan's ended up in the wall. No idea really. I don't know exactly what's caused that to happen. Whether there was somebody off that came back on and hit him, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just just guessing. But those guys that stayed out, surely this time they have to pit. Surely they ain't really got a choice now. Reza is certainly starting to look like you did speak too soon, buddy. So, this is Monza for you on F1-22. I'll just be honest with you. This is what every single race I have either raced or commentated on F1-22 at Monza have all been like this. Every single one. It is the Wreckfest track of the year. Along with Baku, of course. I'm not sure. Baku crashes happen because people are, you know, they try and make moves all over the place at silly corners, etc. They're just, you know, it's they don't. There's no patience, is what I'm trying to say. Here, I don't think it's so much that. I think there's a lot of. I think a lot of Monza is because it's such a high-speed circuit. The cars are a lot heavier this year. They're easier to spin, in my opinion, and the high-speed nature of the track, you're whacking into curves at huge speeds, and I think that causes a lot of it. But the two contacts we've already seen, like that I've caught tonight, have been caused by one of the drivers spinning and then hitting another driver. So it's yeah. Well, Robert Gillen has opted to stay out again. I don't know what he's hoping to achieve here. Ultimately, what he's got to come into the pits. I don't really know what he's doing. He's got to come into the pits. All he will achieve here is last place by staying out the way he is, because, well, because he will end up when he pits. It's about, I'm not sure the exact amount of time, but 23 to 24 seconds, I think, a pit stop around here. It's not as quick as it should be. It's such a straightforward pit lane that it should be a nice quick one, like a 19 second, but it's not. I think it's about 23. So, for me, I can't see a way that Robert Gillen doesn't drop to the back, and, you know, unless somebody spins or something. So, we'll see. I've seen all sorts of tactics or strategies pay off in the past, so it's also the fact that it's that they're at the end of life in a way, that the hards. I think it's either, I think it's 12 mediums and 15 hards you do around here, or that the game suggests. It may be 11 and 16 or something, but you know, they're at the end of their life now. So I don't know. Maybe because of the safety cars, they're not as worn as they should be. Perhaps he's hoping to be able to go to a set of softs later on, but still be doing that from the back. The safety car opts to come in. This lap and get going. So, excuse me. Robert Gillen will lead this way again. Then Spreader P2 this time. Robbo P3, Spriggs P4, White Lion 5, Sergeant Kamarov at the moment in P6. Let's see how it goes. That looks to me like he's gone, so away he goes, coming out of Parabolica. Robbo squeezes Spriggs somewhat. Approach turn 1, Spriggs looks to outbrake him. And it looks like there's some... Oh no, there's not contact. My apologies. Again, it's the blooming lagging on my screen making me think there's been contact. But, no, they do get through safely. And looks like Cameron's coming under a bit of attack from Dre. Attack from Jay and Ollie. Oh, Cammy's got hit from Axel. Oh dear. contact on Axel at the second chicane. So back to the front then, and Robert Gillen's still leading at the moment. I think it will only be a matter of time, either until he pits or, to be quite honest, until DRS activates, if we get that far this time. So, no sign of pitting yet from Robert Gillen. Why would he? No point in staying out on the safety car and then coming in a lap later. So, he's got to stick with it, really. And the way people are dropping a little bit in this race, or having spins, etc., contacts, maybe, just maybe, for Robert Gillen, the best place for him to be right now is out in front. Oh, his spreader gets a bit of contact on him. You can see the way that spreader can accelerate out the corner is because he's got so much extra grip than Robert Gillen has at this point. So, RS coming up to activating, and Streck is out, and we could end up with another one. Where is he? Oh, we're not anywhere near him. It's at the exit of Ascari, and it is another safety car. Robert Gillen, you have to pit, buddy. Robert was driving extremely slowly into the pits there, but White Lion shouldn't have overtaken him. It's yellow flag scenario, so White Lion definitely shouldn't have overtaken him then. But I do get that Robert was driving excessively slowly into the pits, but that may be something for the stewards to look at. I'm not sure, but I am sure because I'm a steward myself. But yeah, it's good to take note of, maybe. So a few drivers go into softs to end this race. They could do with the safety car staying out a few more laps though. It's quite far. It's 11 laps to go still, remember. So, well, 10 and a bit. But yeah, softs only really do 8 laps seems to be their maximum around here. So they could really do with this safety car staying out a bit longer. They're lower on fuel, so there's less weight on the tyres, but may prove to be a bit far for those softs. Going in as well. He's going to the mediums, so what's he doing? He's serving a penalty, okay. So, makes sense. Served a penalty. So set of mediums. I wonder if he come back in and put softs back on. I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think he's going to get the opportunity actually, because the safety car will come in this lap. Assuming he's close enough to the back, which he should. Well, so far it is a bit of a safety car strewn race. It's say it seems to be the way for Monza on F1-22, but a bit of a shame. The sprint race certainly promised a lot for us, but these races happen in leagues. They happen in all leagues, so you know they do. You know, it's just part of it. We've got to go through these on occasion. But thank you to all of you that have stuck with us and watched it to the end with me. So, safety car didn't come in. I only assume White Line didn't catch up, so it should have come in. Yeah, no, I think White Line deliberately held off at the back because he's pitted again. Presumably to stick a set of softs back on. So I think a little bit of tactics going on here for White Line. Obviously, he wanted to clear his penalty, so that was the main reason there. But he also there, I believe, held off of catching the back of the pack to force the safety car to stay out another lap, so that he could put softs back on as well. So a little bit of the old tic-tacs going on. Whew. Right. Well, as we see right now, what this has actually done is somehow it means Ollie Champ's back into P4. Oh, goodness me. McLaren have gone from looking like it was an absolute disaster of a race run tonight to being one of only, well, actually, one of 3 teams currently with 2 drivers in the top 10. That's right. I don't think there's a second Williams in there. Well, these ain't what they used to be, you see. Can't always tell. One thing it has done for Robert Gillen is staying out so long on the hards. He's now on a fresh set of mediums to go to the end. He's going to be quick. So, certainly I think going to be some opportunity for him to perhaps make his way back into the top 10. Expect him to move too high into the top 10, but I think he can certainly get there. Maybe P9, P10, something like that, which would be a good result for Robert. So here we go, in a way. Spreader flies off into the distance as he seems to catch those behind him again. Sorry, not directly behind him. Spriggs did actually react very well. Robbo seemed to be daydreaming slightly, and it looks like Ollie may have got him. So Ollie gets away from the first chicane a lot better. There's so many position changes going on. I think something's happened. Davis looks to be struggling. And James a second. Okay, yeah. I thought something strange was happening. James's timing has glitched there a little bit, so throwing me off a little bit at the moment. Dark Lord, fence from White Lion, and that's going to be a hard battle for Dark Lord to win in the long run. White Lion stay on those fresh softs. Sergeant Kamarov as well also pits the softs. He's got a line of cars on like 11, 15 lap old hards. To say though, it is a long way for the softs to go at this track, so we'll see how they fare. They're obviously going to be super quick at this early stage. It's inside then White Lion, and takes P8 off of Dark Lord. who's gonna have somebody on the back of him. Not sure who yet. Robert Gillen, brilliant to get into P10. Holds Axel off. Gumba there as well. And well, the battle's going on. There's the battle for the lead. Nice behind as well. Wally back in the P3. DRS enables. So Robbo is going to be desperately trying to get into the 1 second of Ollie. But without doubt, Spriggs is in within the 1 second of Master Spread. And it looks to me like he's got the pace to maybe trouble Spreader a little bit towards the end of this race. So this result as it stands would be brilliant for Spreader in terms of the championship with Kamarov in P5, although with those softs on you'd imagine it's going to battle, but I'd say I'm still a little bit unsure about the longevity of those softs for getting to the end of this race. May well be that there was enough laps under safety car that they can do it. They ain't going to be feeling good towards the end of this race. They're going to go off. They will go over the cliff. I'm sure they will. It's just Kamarov then gets ahead of Robbo. Just how far? Are they going to get to the point where they actually puncture or not? That's the question in my mind. It's Robert Gillen and Dark Lord. Robert Gillen back into P9, so he's already up to where I said I thought he might get. Can he go on and push any further? Oh, battle for the lead. Side by side into the chicane. Out they come. Who gets the better exit? It looks like Spriggs might have done. And he has. So if I was Spreader here, I'd have a slight wry smile at the moment. I don't know. What do you guys... I'd rather be in Spread's position now in P2. Going up towards the end of this race. Doesn't really have to use any energy. You could just use DRS to stay on the back of the Mercedes. A little spurt of energy here and there, but he's on 52% in a way. Call it 50%. Spriggs is on 20. Ollie's around 20 as well. So Spreader's got the lion's share of the energy, and when he comes out of corners like that, he will put Spriggs under pressure down the straight again. We'll have to see. I don't even think he needs energy, does he? I don't even think he needs it. Spriggs didn't even bother, and so, well, he's using a little bit there, but it's barely. I'm not really sure why Spriggs has used that energy, in all honesty. It's Unless he felt he needed to defend from Kamarov and Ollie, but so Kamarov gets past Ollie Champ into P3, still charging on the softs. 4 laps left to complete, and stick with what I said. It's gonna be close, but still think he may struggle with them by the end of this race. He is back into a podium position, so I really think Ollie needs to stick with it. Of course, Ollie, 16 lap old hard, so he's not exactly in the, it's like spring chickens themselves, but Ollie just needs to stick with it, because I genuinely do think Kamarov will struggle before the end of this race. Yeah, I agree, Greza. I do agree. That allowed, says James. I can only assume that was about the pit stop thing. No, it's not allowed, mate. So, well, it's certainly not allowed when there's full yellows across the track. Let's put it that way. I think it is a legitimate part of the racetrack, though. So, in normal race conditions, I would say it probably is allowed. A lot less likely to happen. But I think it probably is allowed in normal race conditions, but not with blue flags. Sorry, yellow flags all over the track. It's not. Is that Ollie having to go back at Kamarov? It is indeed. It's Ollie back into P3. So is that the first sign? And we know for a fact with Kamarov's pace, if these softs were working fine for him, he'd have disappeared. So I really do. I think he's struggling already, and he's still got, well, at the end of this lap, he's still got 2 full laps to complete. This really could be touch and go as to whether they make it to the end, you know. But he's falling out to 1 second, and we got a retirement. White Lion and Ascari. Oh, the next car would be down now, wouldn't it? It's a little bonus for the guys towards the end. They'll pick up an extra place. Can you spot him? Is he still there? He is still there. He's over on the right, just there. So I think that means he's touched the curb on his way round. Axel and Robert Gillen battle down into the first chicane. A little touch on the back of Robert Gillen there from Axel. But again, like Kamarov, his softs are going to be starting to feel this. Spreader having a look at Spriggs. Yes, he ideally doesn't want to leave this down to one opportunity on the pit straight. So, we'll see. Ollie's having a look. A look. Ollie's having a look. Go through the 2 Lesmos. And, well, there was a set to 2 yellow there. I'm not too sure what that was for, but 2 enthralling. Well, we've had to wait for it, but we certainly ended up with a fantastic battle. That yellow appears to be a Davis, who's dropped down to the back. But just to mention, at the back tonight is P14, which is still worth a couple of points. So everybody finishing tonight is going to end up with points. As Kamarov drops to P5. Is he going to pit? I reckon he might need to pit. He's not going to. He's got Dark Mark. He's having a look at him. Stick with him, Dark Mark, because he's bang in trouble. And actually, I think this means he hasn't really made anything up, because I'm sure I said he was in P5 earlier on. Or was it P6? So I think maybe if Dark Mark gets past him, ultimately he won't have made anything up with these softs. He'd have lost it all again. Good news for Axel is that Kamarov completed 1 extra lap under the safety car. Oh, look at that! As he gets oversteer through the corner, loses grip. And that allows Dark Mark to overtake him between the 2 Lesmos corners. It's unbelievable, but it does look now. Spreader is on his way to victory. Barring any mistake here, but there isn't one. And Spriggs will use one last little spurt of energy to see if we can get him with the toe, but ultimately Spreader had about 4% more energy going onto the straight, so deploy it for that little bit longer. So Master Spread takes victory, so it took some time for it to start, but we did get a really good battle. Well done to Ollie as well, who is an absolute awesome P3 tonight, and I'm not even going to bother thinking about it any further. Ollie takes my driver of the day. Dre P4, Dark Mark P5, Robbo 6. Kamarov does at least finish. They must have been on the verge of blowing up, puncturing, but he finishes P7. It's going to hurt his title, but Axel P8, Stark Lord P9, Robert Gillen in P10 in the end. So we did get back into the top 10. So well done, Robert. Gumba P11, Atkins in 12, Davis 13, James on debut finishes the race P14, but picks up a couple of points from McLaren in doing that. And as I say, I can only assume that Kamarov's sires were literally on the verge. Remember in a sprint, I said they can't do the 9 laps of the sprint without, or the last time I saw somebody do it, or try and do it, there was 2 cars on SOS for the sprint at Monza, and both of them got a puncture on the final lap. One of them was Daguna, and if anybody knows Daguna, he's a damn good driver, so it's, yeah, it's tough. So you see Spreader celebrate a big victory for him, to be quite honest, with Kamarov finishing in P7. This is going to bring the title race a lot closer together, and there we have it. And so, that's the only thing for me now. Right. So let's just get them in first. So invite to party. Invite to party. Hopefully I can speak to Ollie. Right, all 3 invited. Just to mention, Kamarov the fastest lap with 22.185. I'll just quickly scroll to the bottom so that Grezin that have definitely got all the standings. There we go. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, definitely driver of the day. So I'll press the race director. Oh, let me look at the race director. It never lets you look at race director on sprints. Can't believe that. A remarkably low amount of incidents considering the way that race went. But there we go. Okay, guys, have you all included your audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, Ollie, P3 tonight, mate. I don't know how you've ended up with that, with some of what you went through tonight, but awesome job.
It was pretty exciting.
You take my driver of the day as well by an absolute mile. So, well done tonight, buddy. A really good podium. Nice to see you up here and speak to you as well. So congratulations. Tell us about it from your side. There was an awful lot going on. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we went into qualifying, and when I placed where I did, I was pretty happy. I was pretty confident going into the sprint race, and then it just went terrible when I got that penalty for the drive-through. I was like, oh, that's it then. I was like, at the bottom, I didn't manage to pull back that P10, but started the race, then got into an incident straight away, first corner, and then lost like 3 places from what I'd made up. Got into an incident 2 laps later, had to pit, was pretty much near enough the back. And then after that safety car, just concentrated and managed to pull it back up, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that probably sums it up. But there was one moment in the race where both McLarens had to pit, and I think you were having your front wing changed or something, and your teammates stuck behind you just waiting. And I was like, this has turned into an absolute disaster for McLaren. But far from it. You're one of a few teams that have ended up with both drivers in the top 10. So, fantastic result for the team. And
First podium as well.
yeah, first podium, awesome. So, and say driver of the day as well, which is the most coveted award in the history of Formula One. So, congratulations. Spriggs P2, you and Spreader battling all the way to the flag. I think it came down to the fact really that Spreader had quite a bit more energy than you really. But obviously you didn't know that, you're just battling away. But no, it was really good, and it was actually worth the wait, I must say. The 2 of you and Ollie as well, the 3 of you battling at the end, sort of made up a little bit for the 4 safety cars, because it was great to watch at the end. So tell us your side of the race, how it went for you.
Yeah. Awful qualifying to start P11, then I just had to try and just make my way up as quickly as possible. I suppose a good start, And then yeah, just a lot of battling. There was a lot of carnage going on, to be honest, throughout both races. It felt like. I think there was one point we were going around. I can't remember what turn number it is, but a Red Bull went flying, and I saw the red arrow come up, and I like shat it. Basically, I was absolutely thinking I'm about to get taken out here, but I'm not sure what happened. I luckily missed it. And yeah, again, like you say, I just didn't have enough as much ERS as Spread. I think I was just trying to get him to use more of his of his ERS by just getting close up behind him, especially to the DRS zone, so he'd use up a bit more and stuff like that. But yeah, again, it was kind of just guessing how much he might have had in the last couple laps, I think. But yeah, it was gonna be a bit too hard to time it perfectly to pass.
Yeah, yeah,
But it was, yeah, honestly the most fun I've had on this track, I think, barring all the
yeah,
safety cars.
yeah. Once they were out of the
But
way
yeah,
though, and we got that little bit at the end, it did make it up for it somewhat. It was really good
yeah,
racing. Um, so yeah, and there was actually some
yeah,
some bits of really good racing throughout the field tonight. So I don't want everybody to think
awesome.
it was a complete disaster, because there
Yeah,
was disaster moments, but there were some great moments as well. So um,
yeah.
yeah, um, okay, spreader, victory at Monza. Um, Terrible qualifying. Let's get that bit out of the way first. Usually expect to see you up in the top three, really, but yeah, but the old host advantage came in handy, didn't it? In that sprint race, Jesus. Um, well, yeah, pretty much in the race there, you were at turn one before Kamarov had moved, so it's so well they got to do something about that. Seriously, either
Yeah,
they do something about it, or you
we,
stop qualifying,
we
or you start from the back
what
every
we've
race.
what we've decided to do is to give if Robbo is happy enough to host the lobby, then we'll give it to Robbo Snipes because he gets shit starts anyway, so it'll probably even it out a bit. That's what we were thinking.
Oh man, I always come back racing. It's on the worst starter of all time. You can let me have it. Excellent. Nah, nah, it's all right. Yeah. Well, in a way, on to your race, mate. So, you're stuck in there, really. I'm not sure I can really pick anything out apart from the battle at the end. You just seems to stick in there. You just kept going. You pitted when you had to pit. Probably the right time in the end because of the safety cars, but and then you stuck with it, and it's coming out in a victory. Um, what would you say? What was the master plan that got you the victory tonight?
Oh, it was obviously I was hoping to try and get Kamarov into one and then get a break. I knew I couldn't break away from Kamarov. I knew I was going into a defensive race. I didn't know that I'd be defending for pretty much all of 27 laps apart from the ones on the safety car though. So yeah, I was constantly in my rear view, seeing where Spriggs was, seeing where Kamarov was. Apart from when we did pit, we got five, I think 5 cars out in front of us: Gumbo, Lion, Boss Jam with Robbo, and there
Robert
was
Gillen.
another. I think it was yeah
Yeah,
Robert
Robert
Young. It
Gillen.
was yeah. And
Uh,
I don't know how, but I managed to pick my way through that really quickly. Um,
I
yeah,
was just
just
following
trying to
your
put
lead.
the car in the right places there, watching how they were taking the corners and thought, right, that's going to end up like that. We'll duck under. Well, I think we got, yeah, that was, I think I got a couple of them because it were really, I enjoyed it. I got right underneath Boschan and Robbo at the second chicane.
yeah.
I thought it was good, so I clipped it myself. But yeah, other than that, then it comes down to Spriggs, and he had the pace on me. I don't know what wings you're running, but your straight line speed is stupid, and I'm running 2.4 or 4, yeah, no 2.4. I'm running, so
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
two
lot of
one
so
for
straight line
me.
speed to be had
oh fucking
elsewhere in the
hell.
setup, though, isn't there? Than just the wings as well.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, because you could see what I was gaining through the corners on you. It was enough to just
yeah,
try and
yeah,
then when I made that move on the last lap, I'd literally burned pretty much everything I had to get you up to about 7 tenths. So even though you had DRS, there was
yeah,
much you could do
yeah.
because you were flashing before me. I think I had like 30% left when you were flashing. So
Mm.
yeah. So
yeah, but other than
I
that,
said
great side by side battle.
in
Yeah.
commentary, I said there's a moment where Spriggs got past you. I think it was going up towards the second chicane, and
Mm.
I sort of said on the commentary, if I was spreader right now, I'd have a little wry smile because when I looked at ERS, Spriggs, you had like 20%, and spreader, you had 50%. So I was,
Yeah.
I said if I was spreader here, there was still about 5 laps to
Mhm.
go at that point, and I think I said if I was spreader, I'd just hold off. I'd just let you use your
Yeah.
DRS. I'll save my sorry, you use your ERS. I'll save mine and just keep up with you under the DRS, and and then I could deploy it to overtake you and then defend as well. But which yeah, Greza also agreed was that you played it right, really, there, spreader. So fair play to you on that. A good victory, and it's also going to bring the championship a lot closer together. Kamarov finished P7 in the end. I think his tyres were on the verge of exploding, to be honest. He was losing a
Yeah.
lot of time at the end. So, yeah,
I remember checking and it said he was on like 8 laps, and I was thinking, yeah, this is the last lap until he starts going backwards, I think, because those
yeah,
softs would not last any longer than that, surely.
yeah. Well, the sprint race is 9 laps, and you
Yeah.
probably won't get to the end of the sprint race before a puncture.
Yeah.
So yeah, they only did that many laps there, I think, because it started under safety car for the last little bit. But yeah, it's
Yeah, true.
yeah. But no, last time I did race Monza, 2 drivers used softs in a sprint, and both of them got punctures on the final lap. So it's
Oh, blimey.
yeah, it's definitely close. But there we
Yeah.
go. I think there's going to be a few instant reports, but as I said, there was some brilliant racing involved there as well. Some really good side by side action. There was obviously some contacts into turn one. There's bound to be when there's that many battles going into turn one. But there's some really great ones avoiding contact and seeing who got the better exit out of the first chicane was good as well. So yeah, it went just because it was a Ford safety car race. It was still an enjoyable one. So well done, guys, and for coming out on the podium, but well done to all the finishers as well. Some great results through the field. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for those that have stayed with us through all that and kept me entertained on the stream. So thank you to all of you. Thanks to everybody that watched the stream back at a later point as well. I really appreciate it. The leagues really appreciate it, and so thank you for that. Spread, you know the question. What's next week? Spreads?
Mhm.
What's that? What you saying? Sorry, I
Oh.
was doing.
What were you doing?
I was rolling a cig.
All right.
I was rolling a big cig.
Don't smoke, kids, especially that stuff.
Um, where are we? What are you asking for? The calendar.
Yeah, where are we next week? You know I'm going to ask this. You should be
I
prepared.
know. I was. Yeah. I was preparing something else. Singapore.
Singapore, oh, right up there, one of my favourites.
Shit. Jack's
Oh.
Rapid round there,
Jack's Rapid Rain there, great. That's what everybody else wants to
and then
hear.
Mexico after that. If you know.
Okay, so Singapore
Sounds
next.
good.
So, okay, Ollie, Singapore, good on.
Favourite track,
Excellent. So we're going to see you up there again next week. Excellent.
hopefully.
Okay, Spriggs, I'm going to say
All
no.
right.
Oh, all right then. Okay, that's all right then. And
Wait, what did
Spreader,
you say? Sorry, I got completely lost.
It's all right. It's just Singapore. You're all right with Singapore, yeah? You like Singapore?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right. Yeah,
Yeah.
was all right.
And Spreader, well, you don't like it because it's Jack's favourite track, I take it.
I like it. I like it. It's a street track, and Jack excels at street tracks, doesn't he? So
Yeah. He
yeah,
does,
it's
doesn't
one
he?
of them. The track
Yeah.
for me is a beautiful track.
Yeah.
Well, I do like it.
All right then, guys. Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Awesome.
Hi, Matthew, by the way. Forgot my usual hi, Hilly message. No worries, mate. Thanks for joining in, all right. Thanks to everyone. Have a really nice weekend, guys. We'll obviously see you next Friday for Singapore. Have a good one. Good night. God bless.